Today, we are going to take a look at some story problems with right triangle trig. So just a couple of vocab ideas first. The angle of elevation, the angle of depression. A lot of story problems have these two ideas in them. So an angle of elevation is just we're looking up at something. Okay, so if our person is here, their line of sight, okay, we said they are looking up at something. So this would be the angle of elevation, right? Angle of depression then is if you're looking down on something. So we've got our person, here's the horizontal, if they're looking down on something. That angle is the angle of depression. So let's take a look at a few examples then. Oh yeah! So remember, when you're taking your own notes, you don't need to copy everything word for word.
Depression. Dude, almost like sick figs, all that stuff to be on the exam, so make sure you know what it was. The majority of the exams.
Alright, so let's take a look at our first example here. It says to determine the height of a cloud at night, a farmer shines a spotlight straight up. No, there are more sophisticated ways of
Just be like, I wonder how high the cloud is.
So, this farmer shines a spotlight straight up.
Wow.
Okay?
It's a genius.
Difference does it make? Alright, so here's the cloud. He's shining the spotlight straight up to the cloud. Okay? The angle of elevation to this same spot on the cloud from a point located 150 feet from the spotlight. Okay, so here's the spotlight. It's saying we're going 150 feet over here and then looking up at that spot. Okay, so a big part of these story problems is drawing your own picture. Right, so we need to figure out how to draw the picture. So here's the spotlight. Spotlight shining straight up on the cloud, and he walks 150 feet horizontally. And the angle of elevation then that's created looking up to that same spot is 68.2 degrees. Okay, so this is what our figure would look like. And our goal is to find the height of the cloud. So the height would be this, okay, from the ground to the cloud. So once we draw the picture, then it becomes the same type of problem as what we were doing on Thursday. Right, so now, with respect to this angle, we just want to label the sides that we're given. So the x would be the opposite side, 150 adjacent. So if I'm dealing with opposite and adjacent, I'm going to use tangent. So tangent of the angle equals x over 150. Multiply both sides by 150. And where's my calculator? 50 times. So that's going to be 375 points. So I think I mentioned on Thursday, if we're not given directions on how to round, go to 3 decimal places. So this would be 0.027. And we are given units, right? We're talking about feet. So this would be 375.027 feet.
Mr. Fitch, can I blow my nose?
How would you even do? Oh, you multiply it by 150. No. Why'd you multiply by 150 again?
So our goal is to get x by itself. I mean, are you okay with this original setup here?
Oh.
Okay. Any other questions on something like this? All right, let's try something like this. Okay, so on some of these story problems, there will be a little bit extra information. Okay, we'll have to maybe find 2 different pieces of information, or add something, or subtract something on the end. So for this one, we're trying to find the height of Mount Kilimanjaro by using the known height of a nearby mountain. Okay, so it says the nearby mountain has an altitude of 8,720 feet, and the distance between that location and Mount Kilimanjaro's peak is 4.9941 miles. And the angle of elevation, the lower location, is 23.75 degrees. Okay, it says see the figure on the next slide, but we're not going to look at the figure. We're going to draw our own picture. Okay. So we've got some nearby mountain, and then Mount Kilimanjaro, right? We're told the height of this smaller mountain is 8,720 feet. Okay, so that would be this height straight up, okay? 8,720 feet. Then the distance between this location and Mount Kilimanjaro's peak is 4.9941 miles. That's already a problem. I've got 2 different units. This was feet. That's miles. I need to convert one to the other. Okay? Whenever we're doing story problems, we got to make sure that we have the same units. So do we want to convert this one to miles or this one to feet? That would probably make more sense, right? Because we want our final answer in feet. So why don't we just go ahead and convert it to feet now? So how do we do that? How do I convert miles to feet? 5,280. That is the conversion factor. So 4.9941 times 5,280. Let's see what that gets us. So that's 26,368.848. So from that information, we got one more piece of information. The angle of elevation from the lower location to that peak. So that's creating this right triangle here. We're saying this angle of elevation is 23.75 degrees. So from that, I want to find the entire height. Okay? I want to find the entire height of Mount Kilimanjaro. Well, first, I'm just going to need to find this piece. Okay? So if I know that this hypotenuse is 26,000, and I want to find the opposite side, right? I'm just looking at this right triangle first. Dealing with opposite, and hypotenuse. So we're going to use sine. So I would say the sine of 23.75 equals opposite over hypotenuse. So x over 26,368.848. Multiply both sides by this 26,368.848. And put that in the calculator. So we get 10,619.966 if we go to 3 decimal places. So is that the total height of Mount Kilimanjaro? It's a foot taller. Did you look up the actual height? This is a foot shorter? Or, yeah, I don't think that's what we need to do here. So that's just this piece, right? That's not the entire height of the mountain.
Oh, no,
Oh, so that's what I'm asking. What do we need to do to find the entire height of the mountain? Right. So we need to add this 8,720 onto this value. So the total height of Mount Kilimanjaro is going to be this plus 8,720. 966 plus 8,720. So 19,339.966 feet. So, Alec, what is the actual height? 19,341 is the actual height of Mount Kilimanjaro. I mean, since this book was written, it may have risen a foot. I mean, they actually are changing heights. Yeah, I mean, actually true. All right. So are we okay with something like that?
He said something smart and he said, let's go like that. So I was like, oh. I mean, he's not wrong, but
no questions?
it's just stupid.
All right.
You're like, wow, what is this? I was like, oh.
Got one more to try here. Yeah. Try some story problems. So for this one, why don't you guys read through it and try to draw the picture. There's 2 numbers there.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say, we need to see this.
You need to draw the picture yourself.
Is this right from start to finish?
This is the PowerPoint from the book. What part are you reading?
No, this is way easier.
Alright, so A. So this is A. And then C. Angle. This.
Is that right?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
There instead of there.
Really, that's nasty.
Yes.
Sam's DT counter.
What were we supposed to solve this? Go ahead and solve it then once you have the picture.
That makes sense. What'd you get? Yeah. Hey, this one's this.
Did we get about 320.07 feet? Okay, so the picture should have looked something like this. Right? A looking straight across the river to point B, walk 200 feet upstream, and then the angle created would be a 58-degree angle. So then we would end up using tangents, right? Because we're dealing with the opposite and the adjacent side. So we would say the tangent of 58 equals x over 200, or they said w for width. Multiply both sides by 200, and we should get just over 320 feet. No, I'm done. So, any questions? All right. That's the whole lesson.